How was Christmas in your household? When I was a kid, there were like 4 of us. It was pretty awesome. It was an epic, magical time. Now I've got, well, technically 2 nieces and a nephew under the age of 10. I want to take them to Christmas markets, but am I going to? No, I'm not. Why? Because I don't want them dead. Yeah, choosing an outfit for a Christmas market is never going to be easy. Newcastle Christmas market surrounded by anti-terror bollards to protect crowds, also known as diversity bollards, because these were not here when our country was less diverse. Remember, before 1950, really it was only white people in the UK, and then of course we transitioned into a more multicultural, failed society, I would suggest. And here we have police officers in Germany chasing a suspect through a market. The suspect apparently had a knife on them, so we know we've seen this before. Again, this could be you and your family. You've got to have a plan. We'll talk about it later. Talk about what plan you need. That's what tasers are for, mate. That's what tasers are for. I believe this is Liverpool Lime Street Station. Again, look at this. Look at this, guys. What are we doing in this country? I mean, all these barriers we're putting up. And what we're kind of failing to appreciate is the psychological effect of having all these things up. When you see things like this, you feel as if there's a threat, and then you act accordingly. You don't do things you would do. You probably aren't going to hold your wife's hand down the street. You'll be looking around a lot more, always on edge. An anxious society is a controlled society. And my father would have been the guy on the left here. Although he was armed response in his later days, he was a bobby on the street, and then he was a traffic officer for 37 years. And now they've got the guy on the right. When you're around guns, something happens to your body, all right? We're not Americans, we're Europeans, all right? But in the UK, we've never had routine carrying of firearms amongst our population. We always had policing by consent, although that has changed a little bit in recent years. When you are around people like this, you are a bit more on edge. And so this is the problem with seeing routine firearms around what would otherwise be peaceful environments. As Peter Lloyd is saying here as well, guys, don't forget there is a lot of phone crime going on. So when you're with your young'uns around Christmas markets, of course, you know, you've just got to make sure your valuables are somewhere where they can't be reached, because if you're faffing with someone to try and get your phone back, what's happening to your young'un? You know what I mean? Where are they? What's going on? So be very careful. Eyes on stalks. We've talked about here, Chris is saying knife robberies up 36%, 8,000 a year. That's 22 in London every day. Hang on, let me just get that right. Knife point robberies. There's 22 knife point robberies in London every day. I don't want to say the other word. 1 an hour? My goodness me, I didn't realise it was that bad. Of course, as we know, there is a police exodus. It's threatening Starmer's manifesto vow for more officers. I've just seen that, I think. We'll have a look at it in a minute, but the amount of police officers that are leaving London now is... They've said it's going to be extra 13,000, but I think there's massive cuts to London police force now. So you're not as safe out there, you're not as protected out there as you once were. I saw this today. Gangs of teens with machetes target Christmas carol events at Brighton, Melbourne. Look, this is an attack on our way of life. We know it is, guys. I'm not lying here. Barriers of peace, diversity barriers. This is what I mean. When you take your young'uns to a Christmas market, are you going to take them to this? Are you going to take them through? When they ask a question, what are these barriers for, Daddy? What are you going to say? This is not the British way of life. This is not what we want here in the UK. No matter how much I say it, guys, it's going to be here for life if we're not careful, unless we do something about it. And here we got a market in Essen, Germany. Remember, we have had, as I said, violent events before, but this is obviously, I think, the Palestinians walking through the market. There's no reason for them to do that, of course, other than to show dominance. Hit the comments if you know anything other reason, guys, but you've got to be careful. Whenever there's mass crowds of people like this, I would say vacate. Young person in pushchair there, get them out. Look for exits the whole time. If you're a man, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. Exits and weapons, things you can use to keep distance off people. Not necessarily to hit people, keep distance off people is what we want. It's obviously a massive protest going through this market. It's horrendous, guys. You need to get out of there. Don't be there. Do not be around where this is happening. And here we can see that the Met Police will need to cut 2,300 officers. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? 400 staff next year because of £450 million funding shortfall. Just after, I think, the Labour said they were going to increase the police by about 13,000. It's absolutely... So it's basically making London less safe. Can it be less safe? Can it be less safe, London? I don't know. I don't go there very often. And of course, just to point out, really, what happens on the left with the lefty brain. This is Matthew Staddon, not the most, of course, gifted man intelligence-wise. Most of the nasty, racist, miserable, misanthropic little Englanders on here clearly don't get out much. Go about your business in London and people are friendly and rub along well or together well. Don't believe what the angry, hate-fueled Fearful snowflakes shout into the wind. Now, this was back in, looks like, well, this time last year, really, wasn't it? So 27th, just after Christmas last year. I think Matthew had a run-in with a mugger. I think his phone was stolen, and his next tweet, crime in London seems out of control. I've lived it all my life and never known it like this. The Prime Minister and Mayor of London need to get a handle on it. Shoplifting, dangerous driving, drugs, phone theft, sort it out. That is less than a year later. This is the problem with the lefty mindset, unfortunately. It takes time to come around, but by the time it does come around, it's normally too late. You know, this is where we are right now. You tell me in the comments what you think we can do about it. Rupert Lowe doing his bit, trying to get illegal immigrants that have been convicted, obviously, and have been jailed out the country. Of course, we can't do that, can we? Something to do with the European Court of Human Rights. And a quick guessing game. Which of those absolute awesome trees is ours? It's D. It's the rubbish one, and it's this is the problem with having a Muslim mayor in London. I think there's no celebration of Christianity, of course. So we have fantastic trees all around the country, and this is what we get. Now, a police officer did try and tell me we've always had armed police walking around our markets. Tim, don't worry about it too much. Christmas, it's always been there like that. And as I said to them, hang on a second, that's not the case, because my father was one of these. So if you don't see something, trust your instincts. You know, report it to the police. Guns all over the place, never used to be the case, mate. So obviously they realise counter-terrorism policing, something's cooking off, isn't it, really? So you've got to be careful, guys, when you go to the markets with your family. Another one there, you might notice more of our officers on patrol in the coming weeks leading to Christmas. No worries though, guys, we're just patrolling, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're stepping up our initiative to combat crime, including preventing violence against women and girls, to make sure everyone... It's a great thing, but why is there violence against women and girls at Christmas time? What is that about? Is it white ethnic British dudes? Is it black British dudes doing it? It's not, is it? Is it Hindus, Sikhs? Is it really the Jews are going to be attacking? No, it's not, is it? Christmas market in Poland. I suggest you wrap your kids and your wife up and you take them out there for some awesome times. Eastern Europe seems to have really gripped this kind of immigration grift, as it were. Go and have a good experience over there. That's what I would be doing. I mean, this is obviously a route into one of these places. There's a Christmas market here. You can see everything's channeled in. Obviously, we're being very careful about what we're doing here, aren't we? Crikey. I mean, just be careful. That's all I'm talking about, really. It's not right. You've got to really watch out. I think this was Germany with this was Berlin, was it? So we've got 2000 Strasbourg Christmas market attack. There was some terrorists there. We've got 2016. There was one 12 killed in a truck attack by Tunisian asylum seeker. 2018 Strasbourg market. 5 killed in a shooting and stabbing. 2023. Can't pronounce that, but that was 2 Algerians. 2023 again, Hanover Christmas market. You got to be careful, guys. Let's not, you know, it's too late to go, well, yeah, I did have my daughter and my wife killed in a Christmas market. I wish I'd been more aware. You could be more aware. You could listen to what I'm telling you. And I'll leave you with this festive picture, shall I? A couple of armed response officers. I mean, go and speak to these guys. If you do see them at Christmas market, they're just nice guys. Just go and speak to them. Hey, guys, how's it going? What's going on? Any kind of, you know, anything happening today? Not at all, mate. We're just here patrolling, keeping everyone safe. Never used to happen, did it? And ask them, why now? What's changed in the country? You'll see some blank faces. They'll be like, yeah, can't really talk about that, can we? They know, you know. Also, guys, if something kicks off, don't get in the way of these people, all right? They will go through you. You know that, all right? Last bit I'll say, and I hate to say this, but I've got to say it, all right? You know I talk about discipline, honour, I talk about the code, the men's code. We look after each other, okay? Look after each other's families as well. You know I'm talking about keeping yourself fit, be prepared. Sometime you may have to do something in one of these environments you don't want to do, and it's going to end you. Last thing you did is going to be this. Is going to be doing something that is going to end your legacy forever. All right, but that's why we do things. That's why we look out for these threats. That's why we look after people around us, no matter who that family belongs to, no matter who it belongs to. Sometimes you may have to step up, guys, and you may have to be that person that does something that means you don't come home that day. And that's your role as a man. You understand that. So maybe hit the gym a little bit. Even if when you go to the kitchen, you do a few squats, do a few press ups, right? Get out, walk in nature if you possibly can. You may need that 15 seconds extra energy, extra gas, you know what I'm saying? Just to do something that saves other people. And if you haven't been training for it, you're not going to be able to do it, unfortunately. People are going to suffer because of you being lazy. That's all I'm saying. We all get it, okay? But I'm just calling you out a little bit on it because I have to go and do a 15,000 meter row in my garage now, so I'm not that person that does gas out when something kicks off at a British Christmas market. Guys, you know how I feel about it, all right? Stay safe out there this Christmas. Wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Hit the comments. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.